So, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what it is about Brits where they come over from their country, which is an absolute shithole. They're going through a censorship crisis, an immigration crisis, a knife crime epidemic. They have leadership that doesn't represent them. I mean, their country is in a fallen state. But they visit here, and yeah, I think it's cool when you see things for the first time and you comment on things. Sure, that's great. But then when it comes to guns, why are Brits so absolutely astonishingly retarded on the Second Amendment? And this is not just this person that we're going to talk about today, it's Pierce Morgan, it's anyone from across the pond, as though their country is this safe haven. No, your violent crime rate is atrocious. You have acid attacks, you have van attacks, and you have knife attacks. Thank God for the Second Amendment. But here we have this VTuber that goes by the name of Minty. Now, I thought at first this was a VTuber named Mint, but no, apparently they have similar names. But this is my first time visiting the United States, and it says, visiting the United States for the first time as somebody who has lived in England my whole life. So I actually think this could be very interesting. And they talk about their flight, and I forgot the plugs here are different. I had to buy an adapter, very expensive. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the difference in plugs. As somebody who has done business with the UK, yeah, their plugs, you have to make sure that they have a different sort of standard. Ours are 110. Theirs are very different. But yeah, no, that's interesting. And they talk about how they can't figure out the showers, which I think is funny too. They went to Costco for the first time, and oh, what do you mean you have to pay in order to get in? Yeah, it's interesting. I was actually enjoying this thread. I thought it was interesting. Oh, they found Hot Topic, and having some fun at the mall. Who goes to the mall anymore? It's very very interesting. And then they go to Walmart, and then here's the part where I just look. I am a gun enthusiast. I am a gun advocate, gun safety advocate. But here we have, it's kind of scary seeing this in such an everyday store. I'm very glad we do not allow guns in the UK. What a stupid statement. Like, it just, yeah, it bothers me. You're going to come over here and you're going to mess with our gun culture. Our gun culture is huge here. Like, maybe you're just ignorant about it, but it would be like me going over to the UK and be like, oh, disgusting, beans on toast. Now, it's not a one for one because we care more about our guns than, Brits do about their beans on toast. Although Brits do care a lot about beans on toast. They will defend it very vehemently, and I'm going to defend our Second Amendment. I couldn't imagine living anywhere where we didn't have the right to bear arms, where we didn't have the right to defend ourselves. But then again, this person is coming from a country where these fat female police officers will show up at your house and go, oh, we saw that you made a thought offense on Twitter. You made a thought offense. We're going to take you to the station. You can't be making offensive posts on Twitter. I mean, understand, I'm so glad that I live in America. I'm so glad that I live in the United States. I mean, holy shit. I would not want to live in Britain where some fat female police officer go, oh, you posted about immigration, did you? All right. Off to Scotland Yard with you. It's outrageous. Like, if you're going to come visit, maybe you're just ignorant, but if you're going to come visit our country, maybe not insulting one of the fundamental principles of our country, something that we find is near and dear to our hearts, which is the Second Amendment, which is guns. Guns are such an intrinsic part of American life. And for you to just disregard it, especially when you're backward shithole of a country, that, by the way, I saw in London, the crime rates and stuff like that, and it's shocking. It's shocking. And I've watched Sargon of Akkad, Carl Benjamin. He talked about it before. He's somebody that's lived in he's somebody that's lived in the UK most of, if not all of his life. And he talks about the problems there, and I think it's very interesting. But the fact that you would visit for the first time, and on one of your posts you talk about, oh, it's so scary living here. Why don't you ask somebody? Why don't you educate yourself and inform yourself on our gun culture? It's actually very interesting, like the manufacturing of guns, how the guns that were invented in the United States won and tamed the West. It was the Wild West out here. And if not for firearms, we wouldn't be the country we are today. And I just think that this is an incredibly short-sighted, ignorant statement. It's scary to see this in such an everyday story. They're not even selling guns, they're selling ammunition. They're selling ammunition. And by the way, like this ammo is very high priced. Very high priced. No one's gonna buy this here. I mean, if they do, it because they're in a desperate situation. But it's high priced ammo. Like I would never buy ammunition from Walmart unless I was in deep trouble. Like I'm like, oh well, I have to get this. But no, there are websites that'll sell it for much cheaper. But I mean, like, what are we doing? Like, what are you doing coming over here, looking at guns, and then taking a picture of it and trying to condemn our gun culture? That's absolutely absurd. Um, it turns out some places do not use tap to pay. No, that's true. Some places are still antiquated. I wore a cuter outfit today. Yeah. I mean, it looks kind of gothic, like a maid outfit. Nothing wrong with that. And she's not fat and ugly. I mean, the glasses are kind of like I don't know. She doesn't look weird. She looks perfectly fine. Um, a lot of people like this though, like in America, they tend to be more overweight, which is kind of throwing me off that she doesn't appear to be overweight. They usually are the ones that are lecturing about guns and okay, did you actually say that? That's a microaggression. I don't know. It just gives off that sort of energy with the glasses. But I don't know. Yeah, she looks cute. The streets are very pretty. The air is so warm and humid, though. I mean, you come from Britain. It's like the capital of being humid. And did you really come to the United States and then eat fish and chips? The staff of the restaurant were incredibly friendly. The food was good too. It's really nice that a place here serves chocolate milk. I never see it on the menu in the UK. Yeah, most places don't have chocolate milk per se, unless you mean like chocolate milkshakes. But interesting. But you came over here, you came over to the United States, and you're eating what looks to be. I don't know if that's fish and chips. That could be chicken tenders. So I want to give them the benefit of the doubt. I don't know why this thing keeps making a recurring appearance. Um, a Cadbury bar for $11. Oh, what? Oh my God. Uh, that is crazy. I don't know where you got that from. That is crazy. I've never seen a bar like that for that much money. Hmm. Some of the I don't know what posh store you can't be going to Walmart. Walmart does not have candy like this for $11, do they? Tiny bananas. Like I think that this like see like without the ridiculous glasses, she looks kind of cute. She looks like kind of normal. And so yeah, but my main point in this is not to just go through this whole thing. But the fact is, oh, reminded me of home. See, now that is really, really funny. I didn't see that one where you got a bunch of knives. You got a bunch of knife crime. Yeah, wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be okay? Maybe I was a little too harsh. Maybe it was a little too harsh on our sister from across the pond. But yeah, no, your country is in a sorry state, and it would be better if you did have the Second Amendment, and if you did have more freedom of speech. We're trying. We sent over Jim Jordan and a couple representatives to try to advocate on behalf of free speech. But I think that Brits, I think that you should get comfortable with guns again because guns are one of the greatest inventions of mankind, and you are depriving yourself of that based on fear. Once you learn how to use guns, once you learn that they're not that scary monstrosity that you see in movies where, a single gun, is an automatic and can fire 1,000 times. Like for example, I have this this is my concealed carry gun. This is my P365X. This is a very solid gun. I always, even though I'm sure, I always check the chamber, by the way. Um, whenever I'm dealing with the gun, I always check it because I take out the magazine and I clear it to make sure that there's nothing in the chamber because I believe that gun safety is very, 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 very important. I think that it is actually something that should be mandatory. That in school, in order to graduate from high school, I think that you should have to learn about your different amendments, the First Amendment, the Second Amendment. And one of the things about the Second Amendment is learning how to use and disassemble and clean a firearm. Proper gun safety etiquette. I think that should be a requirement because if you're learning about reading, writing, arithmetic, you should also be learning about your rights. Anyway, yeah, I was a bit bothered by this because I've seen far too many Brits come over here and say things like that. And the fact of the matter is that our gun culture is very near and dear to us. It's very important to us. And when you're coming over here for the first time, you should act like a guest. Most of these posts are great and are funny, and there's nothing wrong with them. And posting pictures or so. But this one in particular, I think maybe it's just because of the history of people making posts like this. Like, I don't think they sell guns anymore at Walmart, but they do sell ammunition from time to time. And the ammunition that they sell is like 22 and shotgun shells. I don't think they sell no, that's I'm not going to do a deep dive into that, but um from what I recall, they sell shotgun shells and they sell 22s. I don't think they sell 9mm. So I think maybe this is a case of this looking scarier than it actually is, but the reality is that you shouldn't be afraid of a gun. A gun is a tool, just like anything else, and it's there to protect you if you know how to use it. I am a huge, 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 huge proponent of the Second Amendment because I think it's the equalizer. And the fact of the matter is this, and I'm not here to get morbid. I'm not here to, to get weird. But I mean, you take a look at this girl, and she's small. She's relatively small. She doesn't look very tall. She's not very muscular. If one of the immigrants from one of these foreign countries, either alone or in a group, decided to do something that we all know is absolutely disgusting and unacceptable, if they try to force themselves on her, I would hope, I would hope more than anything that she would have a firearm to be able to protect herself, and to have that equalizer there is the difference between life and death. Or maybe they're not going to kill you, but they're going to take something from you that you don't want to give up. And I think that is why I am such a big proponent of the Second Amendment, is because in situations like this, I would never, ever, ever want a female member of my family not to go out armed in some sort of way. I'm not talking about bringing a bazooka, but all the female members of my family, I have insisted that they get it's Smith and Wesson. It's a Smith and Wesson 38 special. So it's a lightweight gun. It's easy to use. It's a revolver, so it doesn't have, it's not like a semi-auto. It doesn't have a magazine. It has, like a traditional revolver. But Smith and Wesson 38 special. It's a standard gun. It doesn't have a hammer, so you don't have to cock it. It does have a safety switch. Let's see. So this one is a 32, but you get the point. I think it was a 32. Oh, come on, where did you go? Yeah, the caliber is a 32, but the one that I'm talking about is a 38. It's the same sort of build. You see that there's no hammer there. It's incredibly lightweight, and you've got I think the one they have has 5 shots, which is more than enough because I make sure that they have hollow points. You know, they're protected. They're not going to need anything more than this if they're in a life or death situation. You know, having it in your purse, being able to pull it out and use it to defend yourself. It's a lightweight, efficient gun. It's not really that expensive. I mean, it's a little costly, but not that much. You could probably get one for $400 or $500. But this is the difference maker, and this is what I would encourage all women to train on and to learn about, because it is the difference between. It is really the difference between maybe not life and death, but if you have these people that are going to violate you, I would like you to have the ability to defend yourself. And this is the great equalizer. And so yeah, that's why I get so frustrated, and people say, "Oh, you're so triggered." Yeah, I get frustrated. I get irritated at that because I see so many people shit on guns and gun culture, not realizing that it is a tool there to protect you. And if you get past oh, it's scary, and you realized that it really is just a tool. It really is a tool that you use. You control what happens. You learn about it. You learn to treat it with respect. Like, for example, every time on my disc, I know for certain the makeup of my gun, whether it's loaded or unloaded. But I treat it as though it's loaded. I treat it as though everything's full. So every time I unload the magazine, and I check the chamber, because safety is crucially important. Now this one, this Sig Sauer, this P365X, this is an amazing gun. This is a phenomenal gun. Not like its retarded brother, the P320. This is a newer gun, but the P320, whatever issues that it's having, it's not found in this one. This is something, this is something that's completely different. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I just wanted to do this video because I think that more people in America should be outspoken about guns. They're not scary. They're not scary. They're a tool. And the thing is, I would be more terrified of a country without guns, where people were running around with acid or knives, and they had malicious intents, Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching. See you next time.